How can we master the mind? It's important to realize that the cause of suffering is of the mind. It is how we perceive. And perception is the way we process, comprehend, and give meaning to what our senses are seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching. The whole story of the combinations of the senses come from the mind. The same mind that creates suffering is also the same mind that is used to create joy. You might ask, why would I be interested in mastering the mind? And even if I were, is it even possible? The mind is like an unruly, undisciplined child that feels that its opinions and thoughts are valuable and that it's part of our identity. Our preferences should be known and honored by others, and if they don't, we feel insulted or hurt. We actually believe we are our thoughts instead of having thoughts. The truth is, we don't even think thoughts. They just come unasked for. If thoughts belong to us, or they are us, we should be able to keep them quiet or control them, but they continue on without a hiccup. Even meditation doesn't seem to quiet the mind. People are told to meditate to find peace, but all they find is chatter, endless procession of opinions, explanations, and the rights and wrongs of the world, ourselves, and others. Repeated, like an old tape playing, the same story. How can peace be had with such a noisy mind? Meditation works better when we know where to look for peace. Underneath, right before a thought is noticed, in that place. Focus there. That is pure consciousness, before a perception or a thought is formed. We spend so much time focusing on the thoughts and listening to them and actually believing everything that they say that we become lost in a world of story time, that we lost our peace. It is a hypnotic trance to believe every thought and live in the mind instead of in the world. The world you think you live in is the story of the world and not the real world. When someone upsets us because it doesn't fit our perception, the first thing we want to do is go home and think about it. We use the same mind that created a negative perception that we gave allegiance to either confirm or deny what someone else has said, or to solve a problem that the same mind actually created. These patterns of behavior and patterns of thought are like endless loops on rerun. The undisciplined mind is a ruthless master, and we all know that the body or the senses that are interpreted by the mind suffer the consequences. When the eye sees something and the mind interprets it as ugly, the body has no choice but to feel ugliness. So the mind runs by default until we step in as adults with our attention and begin to master the mind. Our attention is the key that opens the door to mastery. First, make a decision to take your life back. Be in charge. Second, refuse to automatically believe everything the mind says. Most truths do not come from random opinions. Third, place your attention on the space prior to the thought. The mind might say, "That's stupid, I'm not doing this." Again, place your attention on that space. That space contains power. It is before thought, and no thought can be thunk without that space. That space is the unmanifest, or the non-physical, also called God. That space is so powerful that when we connect with it, we have alignment, or are in sync with the only power in the whole universe. That space is where peace and love and joy exist. Once we are able to focus on and connect with that space, the random thoughts do not enter unless we give them permission. We become the guardian of our house, the master of it. We begin to be more intelligent and to attract higher vibrational thoughts, thoughts that are aligned with solutions and inspirations, not thoughts that are full of drama and conflict that repeat over and over. If by chance an immature thought slips in, we no longer believe it or give it the time of day, and on its way it goes. It's no problem. To master the mind is to master emotions. To master emotions is to be balanced and sane. The mind that is not mastered is a dictator. The mind that is mastered is a sage. A sage is someone who has found wisdom. A sage has discovered the philosopher's stone. The philosopher's stone has turned confusion and suffering into love and peace. And if the mind tells you it can't be done, don't believe it.